What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Technium Gaming. I'm Technium, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up and install Stable Diffusion, the new art generating AI that is open source and can run on your own computer. So this is an example of what you'll be able to use. It's a little web page, but it runs on your own computer. The software installs a server that will run locally and create this web page for you so that you can interface with Stable Diffusion's AI. You'll just type in your prompt right here. They have a negative prompt. They have lots of options here that I can go over once we get it installed. And then once you create your prompt, you'll just create. And then once you create your prompt, you can just hit generate and it will generate whatever image it thinks should come out from your prompt. Just like that. So to be able to run Stable Diffusion, you have to have at least 6 gigabytes of VRAM on your graphics card, and it should run on Linux or Windows, but my guide is going to be for Windows and for NVIDIA GPUs. If you have AMD, it is possible, but you have to follow some extra steps. So I will link the website that will give you that guide in the description below so you can try and work through AMD GPU directions. But basically, I'm going to be showing you how to install Stable Diffusion on Windows with an NVIDIA GPU that has at least 6 gigabytes of VRAM. If you want to check how much VRAM you have, you can go to the Task Manager and then go to Performance. Scroll down here until you find your GPU. And then under Dedicated GPU Memory Usage Chart, it should show the maximum amount that you have. Mine has 12 gigabytes, which is enough. But if you have less than 6 gigabytes, you may have to do a lot of tinkering to make it work. So I'll also link the Discord for Stable Diffusion in my description as well, so you can go ask them any questions if you have extra troubles or any problems that you run into on the way. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to python.org to download Python. If you go to python.org and then find the downloads drop down here, download the latest one. Then once you download it, just click save. Once it's done downloading, click on it and then click customize installation. You're going to want to make sure you have pip, but everything else is optional. I'm going to install all of it. Then make sure that this add Python to environmental variables is checked. And then you can install it wherever it says to install. I'm going to add a 7 there since I already have 3.10.6 installed. Then click install. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go to git-scm.com/download/win. I'll put that link in the description as well. This downloads Git for Windows. And what Git is going to do is going to grab the installation files for the Stable Diffusion Web UI, which is what we're going to be using. We're going to need to download the 64-bit Git for Windows Setup button here. Just save it, and then when it's done, go ahead and open it. Hit next. Choose where you would like to install it. The default is usually fine. You can add desktop icons if you like. Everything else is pretty much fine. Then click next again. You can choose a different notepad. I'd recommend changing the notepad that it uses. Either use Notepad right here, which is what is pre-installed on everyone's Windows, or if you have Atom or Notepad++, those are also good choices for this option. Then hit next. Then you can just let Git decide for this one. Keep the default here, Git from the command line and also from third-party software. And use the bundled OpenSSH, OpenSSL library. Check out Windows style. All these pretty much defaults is fine. And then once you get to install, just hit install. Alright, and then you can click finish. Now this next step is to download the repository from GitHub that installs all the files. So we're going to create a new folder. I'm creating this folder here, Stable Diffusion, in my F drive, but you can pretty much put it anywhere, but it's probably a good idea to put it at the top level of a drive so that there's no issues with the length of the file names and such. So once you're in this folder, shift right click and click open PowerShell window here. Then you're going to type in git space clone space https://github.com/automatic1111/stable-diffusion-webui.git. I'll also put this command in the description so that you can just copy and paste it. Then you're going to hit enter. It's going to clone into the Stable Diffusion folder that you made. And once it's done, it'll say 100%, and it'll just go back to these flashing underscores here. You can close now. Then open the folder it downloaded. Now you just have one more step before you're ready to use it. You're going to go to huggingface.co/compvis compvis/stable-diffusion-v-1-4-original on your web browser, and it'll open this page right here. You have to create an account and log in, and once you do, it'll let you download this right here, the weights, sd-v1-4.checkpoint. You only need this one, not the -ema one. So once you do that, you can save it. I'm going to put it in my downloads folder. It's a big file, 4 gigabytes, so make sure you have at least 4 gigabytes of storage space on your hard drive. So once it's downloaded, you're going to either click this to show in folder, or you can just go to your downloads folder like I have open here. Then you're going to open the Stable Diffusion folder where you downloaded everything. Go to the models folder inside there, then the Stable Diffusion folder. And you can see it says put Stable Diffusion checkpoints here. This file that you just downloaded, that's 4 gigabytes, that is the checkpoint. So you're going to either Control X or right click and cut. Then you can either Control V or right click and paste and put it right into that folder. Once you've done that, all you have to do is go back to the main folder of the Stable Diffusion, which is up 2 folders. And then you're just going to double click Web UI User here. And this will then automatically do all the rest of the steps and then launch Stable Diffusion on your computer. So give it just a minute. So once it says running on local URL here, that's the last thing it needs to say before you know that the server is now running. You can drag over it and click Control C, and that'll copy it. Then you can open your web browser and type it in. Just paste it in. And as you can see, we now have Stable Diffusion running right here in our web browser. So you can type a prompt. We can just try it with a cat. Click generate. And then in the command line, you can see the progress that it's going through. So we've generated a cat here. Now there's a lot of options here. You can type in your prompt here. You can type in a negative prompt here, so if you want it to not be ugly, then just type that right there. The sampling steps lets you dictate how many tries, how many iterations that it takes to make the image. A low iteration usually gets okay results, not always the best, but they're really fast. See, that was pretty good just for 20. And then you can go all the way up to 150, which takes a lot longer, but can generate better images. The sampling method is not super important, but you can just play around with them and see which one gives you results that you like the most. The width and height should usually stay at 512 by 512 because the AI was trained on only images that were this resolution, but you can make them bigger if you like. The bigger you go though, the more VRAM that your graphics card has to have, and the longer it'll take to generate the image. So as you can see, this is taking a really long time, so I'm just going to hit the interrupt button here, which you can do for any generation. Once you interrupt it, it will show you what it was working on there. Also, when you go above 512 by 512, you should always check this high res fix, because the AI generates a lot of artifacts. Like as you can see, there were 2 cats in this image. If you did the high res fix before doing that, it would generally fix things like that that would have happened otherwise. The batch count lets you create multiple images in one run. So let's set this low so that we can get through all of these images real quick. Let's do 6 of them. So it takes a little longer than one, but that's because it's making 6 different images. And when we're done, you can see that it made 6 different cats. It'll also make this little collage of all the images it makes, but you can get each individual one right here. It's usually a good idea to do a batch count once you've got the prompt that you want, because generally it'll make some bad images, but if you make enough, you'll usually get something that you like. And then the CFG scale will keep it closer to your prompt or give it a bit more creativity if you go on the low end. So you can play around with the CFG scale and it will generate more and more close to what your prompt is. If your prompt's really simple like mine is, it may not make much of a difference because it's just going to try and make a cat. But if we do it really low, you'll see a bit more creativity, I guess you could say. And if you do it really high, it gets a little wonky on the edges of the scale. But if you do it somewhere in the middle, between 7.5 and 15 is usually recommended. So that's pretty much the basics of it. If you want to learn more, I'll link the Discord server for Stable Diffusion in my description so that you can learn about image to image, upscaling. This allows you to check out your images that you've made so that you can see the prompts that was used and all of the settings. This is a bit more advanced that most people probably won't need. Textual inversion lets you create your own styles out of other images. And then all of the settings you can think of will be on this page right here. But yeah, other than that, if you have any questions, maybe I missed something, let me know in the comments. And if I can't answer or I don't answer fast enough, be sure to go to the Discord that I'll link. That server is really active, has lots of people that can help you with any questions you might have or teach you about the advanced stuff in this. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time.